Chosen one, you didn't just happen to find this message. This moment has been quietly planned by heaven to happen at this time for you. There's neither a horn nor a spotlight, but you know deep down that something holy has changed. The soil that turned down your efforts before is now starting to grow things. Doors that stayed shut for years open without effort. The doors that had been locked for years just swing open now. No problem at all. Opportunities that you might have missed before are now coming your way. It is the moment when the financial blessing you prayed for, cried for, fasted for, finally begins to appear. So, here's the thing. The moment you've been waiting for. That long-awaited breakthrough is finally here, but it seems like heaven is asking for a little quiet time too. When God decides to bless someone with wealth, it's not like there's a big public announcement or celebration right away. He kicks things off with a private lesson. Try to be quiet as you move. So, divine wealth doesn't come in with a bang. It eases into your life just like the morning light. Little by little, the light starts to fill the room, and the wise ones understand. It's not like you go on and on about the sunrise while the night is still winding down. You let it rise in peace. There was a time when you had to explain your struggle. Folks were curious and had some questions. They made a judgment about how you do things. They looked at your lack and assumed you were cursed. But what they didn't see was the training happening behind the scenes, the refining fire that was shaping your spirit to handle what's coming. God kept you right there in front of everyone because He had more in store for you than just money. He was getting ready to hand you the mantle. This type of blessing goes beyond just having money. It's all about taking responsibility. The chosen ones are not just blessed to enjoy abundance, they are blessed to take care of it. But you know what a lot of people don't see coming? When God starts to bless you, it doesn't kick off with a big celebration. He kicks things off with some guidance. He begins with silence. Just take a moment to pause and recognize that I am God. Psalm 46, verse 10. True blessings quietly find their way into your life. They come in just like the sunrise, slowly, steadily, and with a lot of power. The sun doesn't really say anything to let you know it's there. It just goes up. You've got to do it too. This moment is more than just getting some cash. It's all about getting a mantle. God's not just handing you wealth. He's putting a lot of trust in you with this responsibility. With that weight, there's definitely a sense of responsibility that comes along. This isn't just a regular increase. This is wealth connected to purpose. Provision, that's all about purpose. This is the first test. Is it possible to increase your carry without drawing attention? Is it possible to live in blessing without feeling the need to share it with everyone? Not everyone in your circle is prepared to watch you succeed. Some people felt okay with your challenges because it meant you stayed in a smaller space. But as you grow, your light starts to illuminate their shadows. Your progress shows that they haven't made any moves. God isn't revealing things to shame anyone. It's more about freeing you from those cycles and environments that just weren't meant to hold what He's putting inside you. So, that's why God says, when I bless you, just move quietly. Silence doesn't mean you're hiding. It's all about strategy. It keeps safe what's still growing. When a seed begins to sprout, you don't really make a big deal out of it. You've got to look after it, just give it some water. Keep it safe until it can handle the rough patches of jealousy and confusion. In that secret spot, heaven definitely has something to say. God is working on your character to prepare you for what's ahead, fine-tuning your habits, your heart, and your ability to listen so you can handle what others might not be able to. As you get ready to step into this amazing opportunity, I encourage you to share it with others. Drop an amen in the comments if you're ready to embrace what God is bringing into your life. This is a special invitation, not just to receive more from God, but to grow in the way you manage what He has entrusted to you. So, stick around with me until the very end. Let's wrap up this message with a prayer to bless this new season in your life. Let people be curious. Let your fruit do the talking. The blessing is here, and guess what? You've been picked to carry it. It seems like heaven is keeping an eye on things. It's not just about stepping into abundance, it's also about staying grounded in humility as you move through it. Chosen one, listen up. When your blessing arrives, it's just the beginning, not the end of the journey. It's like a battlefield out there. The manifestation isn't your prize. This is where you show what you've got. It's like heaven's keeping an eye on you, not to check how high you can climb, but to see how well you're grounded. When your hands are finally full, will your heart still feel light? Are you going to quietly say, "Thank you," or are you going to loudly exclaim, "Look at me"? Pride isn't something you need to wait for until you've got money in your pocket. Pride kicks in when we lose sight of who actually brought the wealth in the first place. And that's why the chosen have a different way of walking. They keep it humble. They aren't in competition. They aren't out there looking for validation. They stroll with a calm confidence, almost like their nobility from the heavenly courts. They get what everyone else tends to overlook. True power doesn't have to show off. It just keeps going. It's better to let someone else sing your praises instead of doing it yourself. A stranger's lips, not your own. Proverbs 27, verse 2. When good people are blessed, their calmness says more than their position. Their discipline really stands out more than what they show off. Their kindness really shines through. Just so you know, money doesn't really corrupt. It just shows who people really are. It won't change who you are. It'll just reveal what's already there. Whatever's been tucked away in your heart, wealth is sure to bring it to the surface. Pride can really inflate one's ego. Greed is going to increase. But you know, gratitude really has a way of multiplying everything it comes into contact with. That's probably why some of you haven't experienced that financial breakthrough just yet. It's not that God is ignoring you. It's more about Him protecting you from getting promoted too soon. Just because there's a delay doesn't mean it's a no. It's all about preservation. And when that delay is over, when the deal wraps up, when the business really takes off, when the growth starts coming in, God won't just say, "Make an announcement." He'll go, "Just anchor it." He'll lean in and say, "Keep this between us for now." It's not about being scared. It's about being smart. He wants you to focus on your roots before you start spreading your branches. A tree that grows too quickly is likely to break in the first storm. When a tree is grounded in silence, prayer, and obedience, it really does become unshakable. Your quietness is your foundation. Give it some prayer, protect it with wisdom, and nurture it with calmness. Wealth in its early stages can be pretty delicate. Anything fragile should be protected, not put on display. This week, let's focus on the idea of giving with a sense of purpose. Cover someone's groceries without looking for a thank you. Get assistance without having to use credit. Help out without having to be in the spotlight. Let your generosity soar to the heavens as an act of worship rather than just another post on your feed. Your Father, who knows what happens behind closed doors, will give you recognition in front of everyone. Check out Matthew 6, verse 4. In the stillness, you'll find guidance from God. He'll guide you on where to give, where to invest, where to hold back, and where to walk away. People often refer to it as gut instinct. You'll definitely recognize it as something truly divine. After performing miracles, Jesus didn't stick around for the applause. He pulled back. He just kind of faded away into that moment of connection. Why is that? Applause might be loud, but purpose tends to be more subtle. Sometimes, the chatter of people can really overshadow what God is trying to say. When the blessings start pouring in, just remember not to hang around for the applause. Let's head back to that secret spot. What heaven released isn't just about money, it's really a mission. If the enemy can't stop your blessing, they'll just try to throw you off track when it comes to handling it. He's going to send fake connections. Some folks chat like they're your buddies, but their actions are more like those of a parasite. Some folks cheer you on in public, but are secretly in competition behind the scenes. Some folks are just looking to get a seat at your table, not really interested in being accountable to what you're all about. This season, you really need to make discernment your shield. Not every door is special. Not every opportunity is worth saying yes to. Sometimes, the best response you can offer is just to be quiet. A lot of chosen ones figured this out the hard way. They jumped the gun with their announcement. They celebrated their win before the dust had even settled. And when the wrong people found out, the attacks spread like wildfire. That's not being paranoid. That's how spiritual law works. What's sacred should be kept safe, not put out there for everyone to see. Energy goes where we focus our attention. When you put a spotlight on something sacred before it's completely ready, you end up inviting energies that aren't really suited to handle it. That's why the smart ones work behind the scenes. Mature folks tend to say less and get more done. They let their results speak for themselves. You'll know them by what they produce. Check out Matthew 7, verse 16. A peaceful vibe comes with divine wealth. It's not about showing off. It's all about understanding. It's important to recognize who helped you along the way. It's all about recognizing the people who stood by you when you had nothing. I remember those nights when sleep just wouldn't come. The prayers you whispered while shedding tears. The times you faced hunger, but held on to your hope. That memory really keeps you grounded. That pain turns into a different way of seeing things. That process really puts you in your place. So, as your account grows, your soul doesn't puff up. It humbles itself. And that's just why God took his time. That's the reason it didn't show up in year one. So, that's the reason the doors were closed for a bit longer than we thought. He wasn't just getting the blessing ready for you, he was getting you ready for the blessing. The wait really taught you a thing or two. The drought really taught you to be disciplined. The quiet made you more aware of the sounds around you. So, as the increase starts, you're not just prepared to take it all in, you're all set to take charge. So, let's change things up a bit. It's not about making a lot of noise, but about having nobility. It's not about pride, but about having a clear purpose. Let others share their thoughts. Allow others to take the stage. Stay right where you are because God is still talking, guiding, and shaping what's next for you. This next move isn't really about the cash, you know. It's all about creating a lasting legacy. The way you act now is paving the path for what your grandkids will experience later on. This is more than just wealth. This is all about inheritance. Inheritance isn't just about receiving a check. It all starts with a decision. Opt for silence. Go for stewardship. Opt for spiritual clarity instead of chasing cultural influence. What God is creating through you is something really significant, not something to be hurried, not something to show off, and definitely not something to be watered down and chosen one. Strut your stuff like you really know where that blessing came from. Talk like you're the one calling the shots. Live like you carry the memories of the fire, the famine, and the faith that brought you to this moment. So, here's the thing. The chosen ones often face tough times and scarcity, not because they've been overlooked, but because they're being shaped and strengthened. Every delay turned into a lesson. Each rejection taught you something about making better choices. Each closed door felt like a little challenge in staying humble. When you didn't have much, you figured out who really mattered. When you were feeling low, you found out who really stuck around. When you had nothing, you figured out that your value wasn't linked to your bank account. Everything that happened was more about divine training than getting ready for punishment. When the gold arrives, you'll find that ambition alone won't be enough to hold on to it. You're going to need some anointing. It's really something special when you meet people who have experienced humility before they received recognition. They see money as something practical, not just for show. They see it as fate. They just don't view it as a sign of success. They view it as a means to an end. People who achieve success without going through that personal change often find themselves struggling once the cheers die down. But you know, the chosen ones, they just have a different way of moving through life. They get that every dollar is like planting a seed. Every transaction is like a little task. Every blessing comes with its own set of responsibilities. God isn't just focused on your earnings. He checks out what you mean by that. Once the money starts coming in, you'll see something unusual happening. The hands that used to wave you off are now reaching out to you. The very people who used to doubt you are now going to be singing your praises. Some of it might be genuine, but not everything. When things are going well, you really get to see what's in people's hearts. It really pulls in support. It reveals intentions. That's why the first thing God tells the newly blessed isn't to celebrate, but to separate. When your financial situation shifts, your spiritual battles shift as well. You won't have to worry about being attacked by scarcity anymore. You'll find yourself under attack through distraction. You've got to take care of your gold like a guardian. And I'm not just talking about the cash in your bank account. I'm talking about the calmness in your soul. If you lose that, then every dollar just doesn't matter anymore. Your wealth isn't what the enemy is after. He's looking for your worship. He's looking for your attention. If he can't put a stop to it, he'll look for a way to twist it. That's why having a spiritual discipline really lays the groundwork for lasting abundance. When the money comes in, you don't pray any less. You're praying more often. When your business grows, you don't slow less. When you rush towards success without staying connected to your roots, it can really lead to trouble down the line. The chosen ones get that having prosperity without prayer is kind of like having a mansion but no walls to hold it up. Lovely, yet delicate. It's important to prioritize your spiritual life over your financial life. Your wealth might help you get in, but it's your spirit that ensures those doors don't turn into traps. A lot of folks believe that financial freedom is all about being able to do whatever you please. Divine prosperity really means you get the freedom to pursue what you were meant to do. It's not just about being more comfortable. It's all about having more capacity and more resources to support what you've been given to do. So, here's the thing. This type of success is going to require some discipline. Get ready to feel all the feels. It'll reveal your instincts. It's important to understand how powerful saying no can be. It's a no for every shiny opportunity that doesn't really fit with what you're all about. It's a no for those who only remember your name when there's cash involved. Don't let the pressure to prove your success get to you. Real wealth doesn't need anyone's approval. It has a subtle kind of power to it. Sometimes, the ones who make the most noise are the ones who feel the least secure. When God really blesses you, you just start to move in a whole new way. You stroll with a relaxed assurance, not a sense of superiority. No need to be in the spotlight. All you have to do is get sent. It's pretty amazing how some people can embrace abundance without letting it take over their lives. They dress with such grace, not really to impress anyone, but more to show their gratitude. They focus on purpose rather than just giving in to excess. They offer help, but they keep it low-key. Their generosity is like a steady river, calm, ongoing, and strong. They get that every time they give, they're reflecting the essence of God Himself. Giving isn't about losing anything. It's all about multiplying through belief. The chosen ones don't just keep wealth to themselves. They take care of it. It's not just about counting money. They actually allocate it too. Every expense turns into a meaningful act when we let divine wisdom lead the way. But you know what? There's a risk here. When the money arrives, it might be easy to let it slip your mind. The comfort can hush your hunger. Getting too comfortable can take away your sharpness. You might notice that you feel less urgency to pray, less need to fast, and less desire to seek. That's when spiritual poverty kicks in, when your soul feels empty, but your wallet is still full. A lot of folks believe that greed is what leads to the downfall of the wealthy. It usually kicks off with a bit of forgetfulness. They overlook those nights when they pleaded with God for a breakthrough. They tend to forget the promises they made when things were tough. People often overlook that the same God who opens doors can just as easily close them if pride takes over. Make sure your success doesn't make you forget where you came from. Make sure your thankfulness is more prominent than your indulgences. When God blesses someone financially, it's more than just answering a prayer. He's starting a mission. That money comes with a message. It's all about funding impact, building vision, and uplifting others. You turn into a financial guide, someone who brings resources for the greater good. But you know what really keeps that flow going? It's humility. God gives more to those who can manage it without losing their closeness. The wealth you have isn't something to show off. It's His to handle. You really should treat it like something special. It's all about the sacred, not the shiny. I've got another story to share with you. Once upon a time, there was a woman who put in a lot of hard work for many years. She wasn't after luxury. She was on the hunt for stability. She shared even when she had so little. She said a little prayer for each bill, every meal, and every seed she planted. And then, one day, everything changed. Her business really took off. Contracts started coming in. Her accounts really took off overnight. But she recalled the voice that had been there for her during her tough times. When it arrives, just keep it down. Yep, she sure did. She didn't share anything. She kept it humble. She just started building. She provided funding for scholarships. She lent a hand to widows. She put her trust in others. But everything was quiet. Years down the line, her impact reached far and wide, touching nations everywhere. But folks still couldn't wrap their heads around how she pulled it off. They referred to it as a mystery. But it wasn't a mystery. It was all about management. She handled her blessing with a lot of discipline. She entered with a calm confidence. She didn't let her wealth define who she was, and in doing so, it turned into her legacy. Every chosen one needs to get this. The real challenge when it comes to financial blessings isn't just about making money, it's about keeping it. Wealth can fade away if it's not paired with wisdom. Prosperity can't stand strong without a little prayer. So, the spiritual discipline of prosperity isn't really about management techniques. It's all about changing your mindset. Train your mind to view money as a tool, not something that controls you. You've got to show your heart that giving isn't something that takes away from you. It's actually what shapes who you are. Divine wealth just keeps growing when it's in motion. The more you give, the more you get back. So, check this out. It's pretty powerful. When God blesses you with financial resources, He also wants you to create systems. It's not enough to just have a blessing. You really want to have some structure, build up your savings, create a strategy, and practice good stewardship. Unguarded gold is like a magnet for thieves. And I'm not just referring to folks. Let's chat about habits, laziness, overspending, distraction, and comparison. There are these spiritual thieves out there that quietly sap away your abundance. Keep your gold safe by establishing some boundaries. Grow your finances just like you nurture your faith. One step at a time, one prayer at a time, one principle at a time. At some point, you'll take a step back and notice that the person who once hoped for a miracle has actually turned into one. You'll find yourself helping others, supporting families, and making dreams come true. That's when you'll see why God had you waiting for so long. He was doing more than just getting a blessing ready for you. He was getting you ready for the blessing. He wanted you to be someone He could trust with treasure. But even so, stay humble in His presence. Keep humility close as your shield. The higher you climb, the sneakier pride can get. It won't say, "I'm better than them," anymore. It'll softly say, "I did this." When you start taking credit for what was really set up by a higher power, you lose some of your protection. Stay humble and keep your spirit down to earth. Whenever you notice growth, just say, "God, This is yours. Whenever you get a raise, just say, "Show me how to handle this." That's how the chosen ones maintain their crowns, by constantly surrendering. The quiet that kept your seed safe now needs to look after your harvest. It's probably best if not everyone is in the loop about your numbers, your investments, or what you plan to do next. Strategy isn't about keeping things under wraps. It's about taking care of what you have. If the enemy can't figure out what they're up against, they can't launch an attack. Keep your plans on the down low. Let the results do the talking when the moment comes. Your harvest should always be the loudest season of your life, not the announcement. And finally, my friend, remember that your wealth isn't just a prize for your belief. It's something powerful for your generation. You're meant to be a distributor of divine resources. Your abundance serves as a way to bring about healing.